Hello, everyone. Today is September 4th, 2024. This is a recorded public meeting of the Kubernetes Steering Committee. This is a meeting that will be up on the internet, so please be mindful of what you say and do. Please be sure to adhere to the Kubernetes Code of Conduct, which essentially amounts to be excellent to each other, right? So we've got a pretty short agenda today, and we currently have exactly enough to hit quorum from the committee side, and no community attendees outside of that. So, uh, um, so uh, so we've got one topic on. If there's anything else that people want to add, we can do that. But I think, first and foremost, do we want to maybe get the bosun selection out of the way? Uh,
That is something we might actually want to take to Slack since
eh,
that will include our
eh,
other members.
Fair enough. All right.
I do have a semi-related question. Um, I'm just looking through the playlist, and because I was the bosun for the last meeting, I don't see the recording there. Do we manually upload the videos for the meetings, or are they automated?
So they automatically are posted to YouTube because steering is one of the few groups that the old automation still works for.
Uh-huh.
The main thing is a YouTube admin has to go in there and basically publish it, press the button.
Got it.
Okay. So the recording is there, and
It
it's
should
just
be.
it should be there. It's
It's
just
just
not
there
linked
and
with
maybe
the
unlisted
playlist.
or something.
Yeah, it'll be flagged as private.
Okay. But it will
Um,
be automatically linked in once published in the steering playlist.
so when the YouTube admin flips it to public, they add it to the playlist.
Okay.
Um, YouTube playlists are kind of annoying to manage.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
But the group to ping is the YouTube admins and the Contribix channel.
Gotcha. I'll make sure that this will happen. What is the rough delay on when the recording shows up? Is it more or less something like
It's usually
when the
within 24 hours
okay.
as far as getting to YouTube. Usually, at least in previous cases, the YouTube, like a YouTube admin would go through like once a week and publish stuff, unless
Yeah.
there's
Okay.
like an
So
explicit request to like flip it live earlier.
Yeah. So the last meeting will already be there. It's just whether or not it's assuming we recorded. I'm pretty sure we recorded.
yeah, we
The
did.
only thing we have to do is like check the box.
Yeah. If
Okay.
it's not,
Uh,
it'll be recorded in Zoom itself and it can be downloaded and then uploaded.
yeah, but I was like, I was thinking originally about that, but then I reminded that the steering might have had the automation. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna touch anything. I'll just leave it a go. And now that I'm looking there, I can see it. I'll ping Contrabex and GitHub admins.
I will tag this as you. Hmm. All right. Um, cool. I know there's something that we didn't drop on the agenda, and we should just quickly talk about it publicly, and I think we can figure out the logistics via our usual chats. But we have an open thread on the uh, Code of Conduct Committee elections. That now that we were kind of like in that window, I think we had discussed kind of shifting these out to resolve the conflict, potential
Yeah,
conflicts between the two election periods.
yeah, I
And now go for it.
sorry, I was just like, I don't think there's any blockers anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, definitely now that we're in the swing of an election, we have resolved the conflict for at least this instance. Um, but I think we had discussed maybe shifting a quarter out or so, so that the so that the incoming team has an opportunity to do that, to have some context on on standing up an election. Um, so
Yeah, I
yeah,
believe.
Q1. Do you want to say February roughly? Right. So we'll check in with the other steering folks, and I think it's still on my plate to kind of untangle the conflict resolution things that we had drafted before. So, um, in- any comments on this?
I think it's a good idea, and it solves a lot of issues of just too much overlapping between election periods.
Yeah, yeah. The and all of the if then this then the flow chart that
Yeah,
I had
exactly,
written up,
exactly.
and yeah, it became very complicated. But yeah, this is better. Right. Okay. And then finally, Bob, do you want to talk a little bit about this on the CNCF updates space, around the governance remediation process
Um,
and anything else that might be happening in
to
your world?
to be honest, I still have not done like a thorough read of that PR. Um,
Mhm.
but the thing that really like led up to it is that there have now been a few projects that have kind of, you know, they're graduated and or I think even one was incubating, but like um things have changed and what they are not acting by what they have written down. They're doing something else, and that can lead to a lot of potential conflict, especially conflict of interest, if that project is largely backed by a single vendor. Um, and so there's been, in getting that resolved, it's been a lot of stuff between you know, the project, the vendor, um, the TOC, and like CNCF staff. And there was no real official process for it now. So that is kind of what led to the creation of this doc.
Gotcha. And I know that there are some have been some more recent requests, or at least um recent as in post my time in tag contributor strategy, but using tag contributor strategy is kind of a lever to help either review or try to load shed from TOC on some of the
Yep.
governance measures.
Usually, yeah. Sorry, I should have mentioned them in the group too. What'll usually end up happening is like, um, after like first conversations, the TOC member will loop in contributor strategy and be like, please work with them to, you know,
Do the
develop a
governance. Yeah,
yeah, find a governance method, like find something that works.
yeah. It sounds like the biggest thing in question is not so much and I think that's kind of where we're having the conversation. It's not so much the establishment of governance or executing on existing governance structure. It's more so the either the lack of, right, or by breaking or where governance has drifted from what has been documented, right,
Yeah,
is the danger. But I think there are some in our chat, there were some stipulations around, but or some worries around this document potentially creating levers to supersede existing governance for projects that are actually doing what they have written. So we want to make sure that there is, especially for a
yeah.
project that we've been spending time on our docs for a few years now that we are not in a position to have um, a potentially unnecessary lever for governance breaking.
Yeah.
All right, so
I have a
something that
feeling
we
it'll go through several more revisions before it's actually merged.
okay.
At least that's what I expect.
So something that we are still pending to review. I've only taken a quick glance of this in the chat as well. So let's I think we can probably solve and leave comments. I know that Ben has already dropped a few comments here on this PR. The PR in question, for anyone who's interested, is in the notes. For the sake of the recording, it is on github.com/cncf/toc. This is pull 1417. Cool. Any other comments on this one? Any other topics before we go? Okay, I've got one. If you have not had an opportunity to, if you have not heard that we have bellowed far and across the land that the Kubernetes steering committee election is currently underway. If you are an eligible voter and have not had the opportunity to, please make sure that you take a moment. It really only takes a few minutes to get through the profiles and work through Electo and do the voting to help us usher in the next generation of steering leaders. So, yeah. Cool. Well, thank you. Thank you, folks. Thank you for taking the time as always. We will catch you all on the next one. Leaders.
See you in Slack.